these things for 2 and 3 hours.
The pictures that you worked on in those days, the money wasn't there. There was no union, so there was no time. You worked Sundays and holidays, no extra pay. But it was a family. It was a very close-knit group of people. Everybody would help each other. They wouldn't try to hinder you or push you down. It was just everybody would work. And it was fun. It was real fun.
None of us felt that we were out here permanently. We all felt that we'd probably be sent back to New York, you know, to the studios back there. So the Hollywood Hotel was the only place to live at that time. And we'd stay at the hotel until we'd find a house to rent for maybe 6 months. And after that was up, the rent was up, or the 6 months was up, back to the Hollywood Hotel we'd go.
The permanent community was very unhappy at this invasion.
Residents were horrified because they were very modest people, mostly from the Middle West of America. So when they saw this troop of scallywags show up, they thought the community was being harmed.
Well, they would ride the horses across the lawn, cowboys with chaps and all like that, and when they're gone, why, the owners were very much disturbed about it, so that they sort of downgraded the motion picture people generally.
The residents used a disparaging word for the film people. They called them the movies.
They were really outcasts, and they lived in Hollywood, and people found them extremely picturesque and quite interesting and amusing, especially the Keystone Cops or the Max Sennett Cops, because they just simply take any street they wanted and stop a trolley car and do what they had to do and beat everybody on the head with cotton clubs and leave by the time the police had arrived. But all that was fun, but it wasn't socially acceptable. And the people that were in movies, they were absolutely, well, I knew what racial discrimination was because I was a movie, you see.
The problem was so acute, they even made a film about it. A property man asks the landlady if he can borrow her spinning wheel. Good heavens, no. Prop men, however, don't take no for an answer. The landlady sets out to recover her heirloom.
Whenever they finished a picture, which would be roughly every week, you know, they didn't waste time. They just got ahead and shot it. Not always with a scenario. Then they'd run it. They'd paste it together and run it. And they asked everybody, all the families, all the children, all the cousins, neighbors sometimes, come in, see our picture, we're running it. And then they'd ask everybody what they thought. I cannot believe that it was that simple, but it was. And I think some of that simplicity and some of that fervor and excitement is in the films. And that's why they're valuable and lovely.
This Max Sennett comedy parodied the melodrama of the period. The girl is Gloria Swanson.
was great excitement and great fervor and great sense of romance, romantic adventure. They didn't know what they were working in. They didn't know what the future would be. They didn't know what they were doing. They knew that every picture broke boundaries. Some one new thing would be done, a new way of handling the camera, a new way of cutting, a new way of lighting, and they'd be so excited by it. And my father used to say, always, we are not real artists, none of us. We are like the pre-Elizabethan dramatists. They were not real playwrights. They were not really great poets. But they made it possible for the next generation and the generation after to become great artists and great poets. And he said, I think there are coming great artists in this medium. But we don't know what it is.
The residents of Hollywood watched in amazement as the industry changed their landscape. Among their bungalows, D.W. Griffith was at work on some vast, mysterious epic.